All right, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing how to enter in scientific notation to your calculator. So I'm going to be going over a few methods. The first one is only going to work if you have a scientific calculator or one of the black ones. If you have one of the yellow ones in class, you'll have to use a different method. But I like going over this one first because a lot of you have scientific calculators. This is my favorite method to use. So let's say I have the equation 3.1 times 10 to the negative fourth multiplied by 6.2 times 10 to the negative fifth. All right. How I could enter this into my calculator is I'll do the 3.1, and then instead of times 10 to the negative fourth, I'm going to plug in this thing called e. Right? E is the same thing as times 10 to the and then some number. All right. So if I plug this into my calculator, 3.1 second e to the negative fourth, I've done that. That's it. So then multiply it in my calculator. So notice I put a parentheses here because I'm so used to putting parentheses in my calculator. I actually always recommend doing it. But since I didn't do it here, I'm going to cancel that parentheses out. And then 6.2, and then e to the negative fifth. And then enter. And that's my answer. 1.922 times 10 to the negative eighth. All right. Now, let's say you don't have that feature with the E button. All right. Oh, and by the way, like I said, I actually really always like doing parentheses. So normally when I do it in my calculator, I'll put like a parentheses here, parentheses here, parentheses here, parentheses here. Notice we didn't need to do it. And actually what I'll do is if I do parentheses, I just get rid of the multiply sign here. The calculator knows if you put two parentheses next to each other that you're multiplying these two values together. So you could do that as well. All right. In this case, I decided not to. So you'll notice that there are some multiple options. All right. Now let's say you don't have that E option though. All right. What can we do? You do 3.1 in your calculator. So let's enter that in. 3.1. And then second, and that kind of all of a sudden all these yellow things become our options. Second, and then times 10 to the x. All right. So now all I have to do is put in negative 4. So times 10 to, and then it's a parentheses, negative 4. So you notice there's a parentheses there that I'm absolutely going to want to close that parentheses. Right? And then multiplied by 6.2 times 10, which is second, log, parentheses, to the negative 5. All right. Enter, and we get the exact same answer. All right. So if you have the yellow calculators or you don't want to use the E option because it just kind of feels weird, the E is really easy to use, but sometimes it can feel weird, so feel free to just use this anytime. All right. The other thing I want to go through is this: the importance of parentheses for a problem like this one right here. So let's say I have 50 divided by, and then 5 times 10 to the negative fourth multiplied by 3.2 times 10 to the negative 12th. All right, a mistake that students make a lot of times is they'll do 50, and then they'll do 5 times 10 to the negative fourth. But in their calculator, it's that parentheses, and then times 3.2 times 10 parentheses negative 2. All right, so if we enter that in, I'll say this. If we enter that in, we're going to get a wrong answer. I'm still going to enter it in just so we can kind of compare and contrast. 50 divided by 5 second log negative 4, and then multiplied by 3.2 second log negative 2. Close that parentheses, enter, and I'm going to get 3.2 times 10 to the negative fifth. Okay, so that seems like it could be a correct answer, but I'll tell you this is that it's just wrong. Right? The reason being is in the calculator, what the calculator reads it as 50 divided by this number, and then once you have that number, okay, multiplied by this number. But what we really want is 50 divided by the product of these two numbers together. Right? And that might seem obvious when you're looking at it in paper across here. Like, yeah, of course we got to put everything in parentheses like this. In your calculator, just because you don't get to see the whole equation, it's really, 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 really easy to miss out on that. So notice I'm going to put in these parentheses right here. All right, and now let's see what happens with our answer. So 50 divided by, and then I'm just going to put in the parentheses right away. All right, and then 5 second log negative 4. Now here's an important part is notice that I'm going to close the parentheses here, but I just closed the parentheses on this number right here. This one is still open. All right, so then I can do times, and then 3.2 second log negative 2, close the parentheses. All right, and mistake students will do now is they'll just press enter. All right, but if you notice, I actually have not closed this last parentheses right here. So I'm going to do that, press enter. All right, and again, my answers seem very similar, but this is the wrong answer right here. All right, entered it incorrectly. I should get 3.125 times 10 to the 6th. All right. Now, the last thing I want to show you is sometimes you're going to get some weird numbers, and I'm just going to pull away the calculator really quick to make the setting that's going to give me my weird answer. All right. Let's go back up to the top problem really quick, and let's type in just the same thing again, and let's see what we get. 3.1 second log negative 4, close the parentheses, times 6.2 second log negative 5, close parentheses, and enter, and I get a number like this. All right, 0.0000000019. Now, if you were to do the scientific notation on this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you actually get the exact same answer right here, right? 1.922 times 10 to the negative 8. All right, so your calculator could do this. You could put it in scientific notation. You're fine. I'm not going to write it out right here. But let's say you wanted to fix this in your calculator. What you would do is you could clear this, and we're going to hit second, and then all of a sudden that brings us to scientific engineering. And that just means that I was either on engineering or flow right here. I want to be on scientific. So then all my answers will be in that scientific notation. So once that's the case, I'm going to press enter in my calculator. And if I were to put in these numbers again, 3.1 second log negative 4 times 6.2 second log negative 5, I'm back at the scientific notation answer that I got again. So just a helpful calculator trick, and hopefully this whole video was helpful. Thanks for watching.